The members of the Bring Back Our Girls campaigners were back on the streets of Nigeria's capital, that's Abuja, undeterred by the presence of security personnel as they continue their campaign for the safe return of the remaining Chibok girls. The group says this march is to push the need for government intervention concerning the internally displaced persons in and around the country.
It's become very evident there doesn't seem to be a proper plan for handling the situation of the internally displaced persons. Even the monies and supplies going in there are being diverted into private pockets. Since the insurgency started, a lot of people have been displaced, especially at the time Boko Haram took over a lot of territory in the northeast. And even now, the situation is exacerbated.
As we have always reiterated in this group, we just don't come out to speak about the Chibok girls alone, because what led to the abduction of the Chibok girls is what we're still dealing with in the northeast, and this is what has given birth to the internally displaced people. And so today we are marching to highlight and to, bring about the attention of the government again to the issues of the internally displaced people, just so the government knows that it has a very, very, very big issue right on its table that they need to deal with ASAP.
Well, member of the BBOG campaign group, Edith Yassin, joins us now from Abuja to discuss this further. Thank you for your time with us on TVC News Hour. Now, it seems the Bring Back Our Girls campaign group is becoming, by the day, a thorn in the flesh of the federal government. Now, we are hearing your group is even adding more food on its plate by demanding for better treatment of internally displaced persons. How far do you like the treatment you're getting from the government?
Well, thank you for having me on the program. Yes, we have lined up quite a number of things that we're going to be bringing attention to during this 7 days of action. We're also going to bring attention to the plight of soldiers' welfare. That is part of the things that we're going to be bringing attention to. And then we're going to talk about security and killings in the nation, girl-child vulnerability. We have corruption and bad governance, endangered education. These are all the issues that are bedeviling the citizens of the country. The citizens are the government. These problems are a thorn in the flesh of the citizens. So it is only okay that we as citizens will demand from those to whom we've ceded leadership to right the wrongs in the society. Each problem snowballs into the other. It's like a domino. If one problem is fixed, it's likely that all the other problems will be fixed. But for now, we know that the issue of the Chibok girls, that kidnap was made possible because there was a failure in governance, and the citizens must demand that the government do right by them.
All right, you mentioned quite a number of issues here. Will people not see your group as deviating from the original agenda, just jumping on issues that come across?
No, from 2014, we had a document. It's called the Citizens Solution to End Terrorism. In that document of 2014, we crowdsourced the document, and in that document, all of these issues are mentioned because one issue leads to the other. So I really don't think that we can even talk about one issue in isolation. The Chibok girls, that in itself is what we are focusing on. But we do know that a failure of governance, which also concerns all of these issues, is the reason why the Chibok girls are still in captivity 1,002 days later.
Back to the question I asked you initially, and that's the heavy presence of security officials where the Bring Back Our Girls campaign is holding in Abuja. How do you feel about this?
Well, it's something that I can't say we're used to it, but we do expect it, because even from way back 2014, the security presence was quite heavy, and it has not, the security personnel, they've not relented. You know, every time we plan a march, they're out in their numbers, and well, we've decided to look at it on the positive side. They're there for our protection. That is what we want to look at. And on day 1,000, we actually gave them a few tokens. We gave them 2 of our banners so that they'll remember day 1,000. I remember that 195 Chibok girls and other people are still in captivity. So we try to go away, we try to walk away with the positives from any of the situations that we encounter in the 987 days of our advocacy.
All right, bringing back the girls now has become increasingly problematic. What do you think, what else do you think that the government can do to ensure that these girls are brought back? Sambisa Forest, where they were originally touted to be, is now been liberated. So how do you think that the government can go about ensuring that the girls are brought back?
Well, not too long ago, when 21 girls were negotiated for, we were promised that another 83 would be out soon. But then again, the occupants of Sambisa Forest knew long before the fact that Sambisa Forest would be cleared. They knew long before that. And Sambisa Forest has been cleared. We've not seen a single person that was arrested in Sambisa Forest. I can't say, maybe for security reasons, we can't see the number of people that were arrested when that raid took place. But from my own deduction, it's like they escaped and left the forest bare before our troops got there. So it is only to be expected that we will not find our Chibok girls in Sambisa Forest, because those who are holding them have left. So what we are asking, we've always said there's always options, that the 3 options that we've always said the government can take. They could negotiate, they could go in there and take by force, or they could use both. So these are 3 options, and we've been thinking that they're using both. But at the moment, we know that 1,002 days later, the government must bring this issue to closure. It is not one of those issues that will be swept under the rug and we would forget. We are not ready to forget 195 Chibok girls in captivity. And the government must by itself bring closure to the issue. One way or the other, the government must make a pronouncement as to what is going to happen next, because it is the duty of the federal government of Nigeria to protect the citizens of the federal government of Nigeria. These citizens were under the custody of the government when they were taken. They were in the secondary school, they were in the government secondary school. So it is only right that the federal government of Nigeria brings closure to this issue one way or the other. It must not be swept under the rug. It will not go away by itself. There must be closure.
All right, I'm talking about what should happen next for the girls that are back, and then the number of those that are yet to be found. Is your campaign group really harping on the need for the federal government to put a plan in place to reintegrate these girls back into the society, maybe to go through a particular psychological treatment or so? And also, as a mother, how do you feel that those that are back came back as mothers?
Well, as a mother, I am happy for the biological mothers of these girls. 19 parents so far have died, but those who have seen, who have stayed alive to see their daughters come back, one way or the other, they must be praising the maker of these children, that they were able to see their children come back. That is number one. Number two, as a mother, I expect that everything at the disposal of the federal government will be put to the rehabilitation of these girls, to their integration, and for their education, which is very key. It's only education that liberates the girl child in Nigeria. And it is a very difficult path for the girl child in Nigeria. And with this kidnap, it makes it even more difficult for the girl child in northern Nigeria to go to school. So the government must do everything to use our Chibok girls that have been released as the poster child that, in spite of everything, education can still liberate you, and education can still open doors for you. It is the only way that we will come near to making up for the trauma, for the unbelievable trauma that our Chibok girls have gone through, the ones that have so far been released. as a mother, I can't, in fact, I cannot begin to even contemplate. I can't explain to you what would, I probably would have been one of the 19 that are dead. That is all I can say to you concerning that. That's how emotional I get about this issue.
All right, Edith Yassin, a member of the Bring Back Our Girls campaign group, thank you for your analysis and harping the need for the federal government to ensure the safety of these girls and return them to their families as soon as possible. Thank you for your time on TVC News Hour.